Alright, we're looking at a fight from Seasons Beatings 2 in Martinsville, Virginia. And this is one of the first cases we had of a fighter who stepped up a couple of weight classes for the Cruiserweight Championship. Rodney Reese was the 185-pound champion. He moved up to take on Chris Stump. When you look at the weights, you can tell there is a weight disparity between the two. It was way before Conor McGregor decided he would, move up weight classes. And basically, Rodney Reese wanted to be the champion. And, you know, he was going to take on Chris Stump for that Cruiserweight Championship. They touch gloves, come out. Nice leg kick that immediately puts Chris Stump down. Rodney moves into side position. One mistake he made there, he just tried to throw the leg over and instead of sliding the knee through, and he winds up here in the half guard. Now he's got a Kimura, almost locked in here, but he's really not threatening with the submission as long as he's in the half guard. Nice elbow there, nice shot to the body. Believe it or not, a lot of times in these cases where you have a smaller guy on top of the heavier guy, being in the side mount might not be as advantageous as being in the the half guard here. But when you're in the half guard, Rodney's looking for the submission. Not going to get that submission while you're in the half guard. Chris Stump can actually hold on to him here and sort of keep him away from getting the leverage on that submission. Once again, hard to say what Rodney should be doing. Nice couple of shots there. It's easy to say he should pass the guard. Like I said before, a lot of times this isn't a good position. One thing that you'll notice is in this half guard, Chris has the underhook, and here you see Rodney actually doing the right thing and fighting for that underhook to get a better position. You don't want, right here, Chris should be fighting back to that underhook position, going under his right arm there. But Rodney is getting that underhook back, pretty good grappling right here. Uses his elbow to sort of, pry those hands away. Chris is coming back for that underhook. Whenever you see fights like this, you notice that, fighting for that underhook is probably the most important thing. Chris should be trying to slide out on his side, on his, I guess what you'd say on his hip, and come out because he has the underhook here. He could actually move to the side, unlock. He would have to unlock that leg, which I guess that's a little bit too risky for him at this moment, but he's, really fighting for it here. He traps him over the head, which, this is actually a better position for Rodney, where Rodney is just, now he throws a hard shot there, and he's looking to sort of get the distance, a little bit of space for strikes. So some body shots here. Chris still underneath there, has the unhook. There's a lot he could have done there. Once again, I think he should have let go and worked from the side. But when you're in this position, you want to defend and make sure you're not getting punched in the face and, have people striking you. So it's understandable why in this position he's sort of almost like a stalemate. No one really moving or advancing. And, Stump is right here. Definitely looking pretty good, not in a bad position. Rodney's really not in a bad position either. You can see he's got Chris has that leg locked in a nice half guard lock position where his right foot is trapping Rodney's right foot, making it very difficult. You see him pull up on it there, making it difficult for him to pass. And then he switches up that and comes back to that lock position. Pretty much a stagnant round. Rodney Reese, in my opinion, is definitely winning this round. There you see his coach from Jungle Works, Caleb Race is there, giving him instructions on what he should be doing next. Rodney is definitely, in the advantageous position. He's getting strikes off. Nice elbow there. So he's actually winning. Stump is fighting for that underhook. He's actually not in the worst position. There you see Rodney pushes that arm down, but you know, neither guy is really, um, a vague attempt at a submission there. But there's where Chris wants to be, on his side with that underhook there. And, Rodney is still sort of doing the same thing, not really advancing the position. But, definitely in control of the fight, in my opinion, winning the fight. And, Stump has got to, figure out a way to get out from the bottom here. As you can also tell, we're getting to that point where it's 3 5-minute rounds, and it's getting ready to come to the end. A very good round for Rodney, and, Stump gets up. And a mutual show of respect there. Both of these guys, super nice guys. Both of them very tough. You see Ron Ferguson from Martinsville Fight Club. He comes in to, give Chris some water, give him some, type of a, I guess what you'd say, instruction on what he should do next. One thing about these shows, I will say, this was at Martinsville Middle School. We try to do shows at school to help middle schools out and help get them some money for, booster clubs and stuff like that. Two very good teams here. Jungle Works no longer in operation, but for a while there, Jungle Works was the only place in Danville that was training fighters and getting people ready to fight and compete in mixed martial arts. Rodney getting shaken out here. Very good round for him. Once again, we say he normally fights at 185. He's actually went down as low as 170. So I think 170 probably the best weight for him. Chris Stump, obviously, he's a heavyweight. He's won the heavyweight championship. He's won the cruiserweight championship. He'll probably be going for the super heavyweight championship soon. But both fighters come back out. Chris is a very good kicker. There you see some sort of, very good kick that misses. Rodney comes back with a kick of his own. Nice uppercut by Chris Stump on the left hand, lead hand there. And now he's clinched him up against the cage. One thing I'll also say is, whenever you watch a smaller guy fight a bigger guy, you got to watch the clinch and all of these things, because it's hard to move a bigger guy around, and sometimes that'll gas a fighter out. Reese coming through with some very hard hooks, left and right hooks here. A knee looks good right there. None of them seem to phase Stump as he just walks through there. Nice knee himself. And then he starts to pour it on here. And, right uppercuts, rights to the body, knee. Reese already looks depleted. He goes ahead and taps out. Probably more from fatigue than anything else. You see the trademark kick from Chris Stump as he gets another win. Cruiserweight champion, heavyweight champion, probably top 2 fighters ever to fight in the Virginia Cage Fighting Championships. Only guy that even can come close is probably Will Worley. As we look at the replay here, Stump, he moves into this position. Nice knee by Rodney Reese. But then here you see Stump is just moving in. Nice knee there. And the strikes just keep coming. Eventually Rodney Reese, verbally submits. Nice shots to ribs there as well. And, probably one of the you have to really give Rodney Reese credit for stepping up and taking a fight like that out of his own weight class. Like I said, he probably is better at 170. I mean, he possibly could even make 155. But there you see Stump, probably one of the greatest champions ever to wear a VCC title, ever to get a championship. One of the best ever. And, when you think about Stump, very, very nice guy, mutual respect there shown. And you can just tell Rodney had to move that big body around. He's exhausted. And Stump weathered the storm and comes out victorious. He got that weird mustache going on. Not sure about that, but another great fight for Chris Stump.